Also, I would say, heads up, there's a pandemic coming.
Yeah, look out.
You probably can't prepare for it, but just so you know.
Go buy some toilet paper.
Go buy
Stock
some
up.
toilet paper.
That was so bonkers. As literally, it felt like the world was burning down. We in this country were worried about effing toilet paper. And that worry became its own crisis and pandemic.
And that's a good segue into, I have Crohn's disease. So I was worried about toilet paper.
You have a legitimate worry about toilet paper.
Look, your questions made me think about things. And, I already mentioned mortality. I've understood something about mortality since I was about 12 years old. So I learned real early that our bodies are going to give out on us at some point. And that was the great gift of this disease. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I wish I didn't have it. It changed my life in negative ways, but also it's what fuels this spirit in me to keep going. And when things are good or beautiful, I really, really appreciate them.
Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever time it is, wherever you are as you're tuning in to the Niners. I'm Tim Cunningham, who has the deep privilege of learning from folks who have a 9 in their age and are living on the cusp of something as they move forward into the next decade or next century. And I'm honored today to be chatting with Wendy. Wendy, how are you?
I am doing okay. I don't know how to answer that question right now.
Maybe by the end of the interview, you'll have it figured out.
I'll answer it.
Yeah. Well, important question. Today, Wendy, how old are you?
I'm 49 years old.
And can you tell us a little bit about where you're from and where you live now?
Where am I from? I came from a military family. I was born in Washington State. I'm trying to remember where I was born. Born in Washington State, moved to Michigan, moved to Florida. I was only 7 at that point, and then moved, all over the East Coast, mostly East Coast. Even though I was born on the West Coast, I'd say I'm an East Coaster. And now I live in Boulder, Colorado. So, which is kind of funny because it's the first time I actually live on water is in a landlocked state. So we're right by the creek here. I think it's funny.
Do you crave another move, having moved so much in your life? Does it get in your body at some point that, okay, it's time to pack up and go?
I mean, to be honest, leaving the country is really appealing right now. But I also live in a really beautiful place and want to take care of where I am too. And so it's a pull in some ways. And I wouldn't mind. I would really like to become fluent in a couple of languages. And that would probably mean going somewhere for a while.
Are you learning any as we speak?
Spanish. I've been really working on American Sign Language, which I can do here. Portuguese. Yeah, but being really fluent in Spanish would be great.
I've been doing Duolingo. I just got back from Lebanon doing a tour with Clowns Without Borders and Clown Me In. And I hopped on Duolingo for a couple months. And I've realized, and this is not, I'm not sponsored by anyone right now while we're doing this podcast. Duolingo, if you want to sponsor us, we're going to welcome it. I love it because you get all the blings and the zings and the dings and things. But I don't think I learned Jack because I got to Beirut and knew I had a bunch of words in my head and they went no. Maybe it takes more time.
I am learning Polish on Duolingo.
Are you enjoying it?
Yes, my family's Polish. It's unlike any Romance language or anything else, and it has like 7 consonants in a row.
Can you say something in Polish, Wendy, for the listening?
Oh, the only thing I'm thinking of are bad words right now.
Wendy, can you tell us a little bit about how you spend your time?
How do I spend my time?
Yeah.
I have been doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu lately, and I will be getting my black belt this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That seemed like a thing that would be, I'm on the cusp.
Yeah.
That's another thing I'm on the cusp of.
Yeah. And so you're 49. Will you get that black belt before you turn 50 or after you turn 50?
So says my current instructor. I said something, I'll turn 50 and I'll get my black belt. And he said, it's going to be before then. So I think this is the year. I'm really close to it. So that's a cool thing that's going to happen. I spend a lot of time doing that. I teach and I train. And what else do I do? I started my own business. So I have my own business doing personal training. And I'll do a music lesson here and there and even some clown stuff as well. I started that during the early days of the pandemic and it's just kept going. I spent time on that. I like dancing. I'm teaching flying trapeze right now. For what else do I like? I love walking and riding my bike. I'm in Boulder, Colorado, so it's like really beautiful here.
And can you tell me a little more about clowning? Like you dug into your clown online during the pandemic. As I know clown in my own experience,
Mhm.
it's really great in person and how you engage with it. How do you do that online? Because I feel like that could take away from so much of that human interaction.
Yeah, that was an interesting exploration, but I looked at it as using technology. I recorded a few things. I did few things with Me, with Dr. Mal.
Yeah,
We made
love that.
we made a workout video, and then some
Cool.
stuff with my clown partner here, Sandra Blanchard, and would use the screen and adding filters and adding there's it's still, I've developed a lot of, what's the word, skill at connecting with people online because my entire business is pretty much online.
All right, it's in your blood
And
already.
yeah, and the tells, are you breathing? What's going on? What's that fate? Just kind of reading people's body movements. I can see the wrinkles in their shirt. And so it's like even more of a tune in to what somebody's doing. So I'm trying to use technology for good.
We need more of you, please. And more Sandras too. Please send my regards. I lived in her apartment in Philadelphia, gosh, 20 some years ago. I just gotten a job working at a theater company there. And I think she was in Boulder doing something. She's like, you
Uh-huh.
can't leave my apartment.
Yeah.
It is a super smart, especially when you start talking clown. Super
Yeah.
smart.
Yep.
But this podcast is not 100% about clown. It could be. No, that would be horrible. We'd lose a lot of audience members, I think. Wendy, as you think about being 49,
Yes.
what excites you the most about moving into the next decade?
So what excites me is, can we curse on this podcast, or is it
You can say whatever the fuck you want.
whatever the fuck I want? Okay. I don't give a fuck. That's real. That's something I've enjoyed about aging. I would say 40s, and then if the 40s were like this, then the 50s must be just great in that capacity.
Okay.
I think there's a few reasons why. I think there's some hormonal shifts. I'll say that change your brain a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then also thinking about mortality. I'm in the second half. Unless some technology makes people to live to 300 or something at some point. But that's not going to happen in my life.
Really want that. I don't know if humans really
No, I don't know.
like to talk about that.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a surrender to mortality and thinking about what I really want to try and do, and things that I thought I would be, and changing the world and this and that, and then looking reality in the face. Happens. And so there's a freedom in knowing there's an end coming. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't come too soon, but just seeing that.
I mean, if you're halfway there, that gets you all the way up to 98. It's not a bad target.
Yeah.
Wendy, what was something you wanted to do to change the world, and then you had a moment, sounds like in your 40s, where you said, okay, might not happen?
I don't know. Well, I think for me, there's sort of the more ego side of, I wanted to be a famous performer and do this and do that, and that hasn't quite worked out that way. I am an artist, and I want to be on Broadway, I want to be in Hollywood, whatever. And that didn't work out for various reasons. And all the things I care about, I care about disability justice. I care about naming the things that are going on in our society and how they show up in fitness, in clowning, in art, in everywhere. That's really important to me. And I can't change everything. Yeah. And I haven't started a global program or this or that, but I realized I can shift one little space at a time, or connect to one person at a time, which is what I love about clowning, and specifically healthcare clowning, the intimacy of it. And working with my clients, like, I can shift one little moment and transform that.
Riff with that. Can you describe a little bit? You mentioned the term healthcare clowning. Mm-hmm. I'm quite familiar with that. Yeah. I love that kind of work. Folks in our audience that aren't familiar with it, could you talk a little bit about what that is? And then also talk a little bit about what a moment might look like, one of those small moments that really made a change, and how does that happen in healthcare clowning? So
healthcare clowning, it's not just hospital clowning. I think that was a name for it. I like the name healthcare clowning because any healthcare adjacent space where that clowns can come into, humor can come into, maybe doesn't look like clown per se, but it's characters, theater, humor,
So it's not
and
always like a red nose, right? It could be
right.
eccentric. Okay.
And there's often music or props, juggling, whatever. And it might be in a space where there's a lot of seniors, older adults. It might be in a pediatric hospital. Everybody that I mentioned it to says, in children's hospitals. I'm like, yes, but other places too. And I'm really interested in applications for adults in the middle as well, and all the various other applications that could be there. So that's healthcare planning. You can feel free to add stuff to it
Oh,
because I know you're very familiar.
you got
And,
it.
yeah, and I think every clown that's done this has that. Oh, there's so many moments. Which one moment can I name? The
Yeah.
first one that came to me was really interesting because it showed the science next to the humanity and the art, and we were on in the NICU, I think, or
Okay.
the kid was being monitored for cardiac stuff, and
Okay.
was crying, and the caretaker was there, and the heart rate was high, and we came in and we just felt out the moment and started playing music and singing songs and watched the numbers change on the machine, watched the caretaker change, watched the child change. And that was cool to see it, all the things, the data alongside the humanity of it.
Yeah.
Just that was such a cool moment. And just generally, I love taking what's in front of you. And even though maybe I'm not doing a ton of clowning right now, I take what's in front of me with my personal training clients. Oh, how are you feeling today? What's going on with you today? How do you want to move today? What would feel good? So it's the same art applied in different ways.
And those nuggets of and legit as a healthcare clown and also a nurse, and those critical moments where especially a child, their heart rate's too fast, that can't sustain for a long time in certain conditions. So how amazing that without drugs, without anything other than a human connection and some sound waves, you did what a lot of drugs strive to do without the side effects
It's
too.
so really cool.
Really cool. Wendy, I'll ask you to look back over a decade. And if you could go back in time and give yourself advice a decade ago, Wendy at 39, what would you share?
I would share, and I want to preface this. I'm thinking about advice because I understand that with advice, we're not always in the place to receive it, or the person's not us if we're giving advice, or I needed to learn. But if I could do that, it was a time machine, I could go back.
If you were open to listening and truly taking that.
Doing something about it. Honestly, don't give away so much of yourself for free. And then not even necessarily about money, but just I wanted to be a part of things. And I've grown out of this. This is something I've grown out as I'm in the IDGAF era, right?
IDGAF.
I don't
I don't give a fuck. Oh, I don't give a fuck. Got it.
I've just grown. And I wanted to, we want to be a part of things, and I gave up largely labor or bits of myself to be part of something. And it was rarely ever worth it. Or maybe it was a little bit worth it because of the people I met. Usually it was because of the people I met, because of the staff, because of the connection I made with somebody who had nothing to do with, usually, the people in charge.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give so much of that away, and I have firmer boundaries, which is an ongoing journey. Also, I would say, heads up, there's a pandemic coming.
Look out.
You probably can't prepare for it, but just so you know.
Go buy some toilet paper.
Go buy some toilet paper.
That was so bonkers. As literally, it felt like the world was burning down. We in this country were worried about effing toilet paper.
Yeah.
And that worry became its own crisis and pandemic. And
that's a good segue into I have Crohn's disease. So I was worried about toilet paper.
You have a legitimate worry about toilet paper.
Yes. But that's important for me. That's something I wanted to talk about a little bit today in some context, because it plays into everything, that I do.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about it.
Your questions made me think about things. And, I already mentioned mortality. I've understood something about mortality since I was about 12 years old.
Okay.
My
Have
body
you been hospitalized a lot with the Crohn's and things?
Yes, and even in the past decade, in the past 5 years, I've had 2 surgeries and a couple of hospitalizations. So yeah, I learned real early that our bodies are going to give out on us at some point. And that was the great gift of this disease. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I wish I didn't have it. It changed my life in negative ways, but also it's what fuels this spirit in me to keep going and when things are good or beautiful, I really, really appreciate them. So yeah, and that it's just affected every moment, so I can't not talk about it. Yeah.
I'm curious, with the next question I had written, I'd love to hear from you. What worries you about the next decade, and does health play a part of that?
Okay. Well, in light of recent events, which I'm gonna name,
Name
I'm
them,
I'm naming names. If the name is Donald
please.
Trump, I'm extremely worried. It's a really heavy feeling. And we're talking just after this, what they called the so-called big beautiful bill got passed, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't think people are really some people are gonna feel it immediately, and they've set it up so that the bombs keep dropping. Like it's just gonna keep, and I'm worried about the next 10 years. I'm worried about the next generation. That's real. And
Yeah,
been trying to just sit with that and that surrender that I talked about, surrender to, and what can we do
yeah.
and what can we not do? Yeah. So
Wendy, have you ever, in your 49 brief years on this planet, experienced such stress over politics or the current administrative leaders? Have you seen anything like this in your lifetime?
I think my eyes became more open, it's just an ongoing thing. And I've always been scared in my whole adult life, especially because of my health. And, yeah, that's real. That makes things really real really quickly. I think some stuff came out of Reagan administration. Like I remember I'm a little kid hearing about Reagan, and some stuff that started then is rippling even till now.
It feels
And
like the playbook in some ways is being repeated but amplified.
yeah, it's the same playbook. Uh, And I want to laugh and have some positivity today, but also I've been thinking a lot about my grandparents. There's a 9 in this 1939. They were in
Uh-huh.
Poland. They were teenagers in Poland, and yeah,
Mm,
just thinking about them,
yeah.
you know?
Can you tell a little bit more about their story?
Yeah, and there's a lot of lore, and I don't know all the details, but they were in the part of Poland that's now Ukraine.
Okay.
The Ukraine, because Poland disappeared, then it reappeared, and the borders all like there's a lot of, they were Catholic, so they didn't receive the worst of the worst treatment. I know my grandmother had to work farms in Germany, and then like Nazi farms, and then the war ended. How she met my grandfather, he was speaking Polish on the street in Germany. My father was born in Germany in 1947, and then they came across the ocean in 1948.
There's a lot of power in nines, and I'm learning not only through these interviews, but a
Mhm,
fact that actually I'm learning almost all of it through these interviews. Let me scratch that. I'm learning most of
mhm,
this through these interviews. And someone shared with me this idea that 9 always goes home, the number 9. So like if you think about 9 times
mm,
2 is what?
18.
18. And if you look at the digits 1 and 8,
Plus
what's 1
8,
plus 8? 9.
9. I
You can
remember these. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you
So,
can multiply 9 by anything, add up the digits sequentially, and you land on 9. 9 always goes home. And just thinking about your grandparents and then more broadly about the state of the world as I learned it, knowing that the history I learned is just, a drop, a small chunk out of a giant iceberg. But that was such a big year globally when
mhm.
it comes to change, when it comes the fall into fascism, into Nazism. In one way, thank God it's not 2029. We might be even worse off. But is this also, we're recording this in 2025. I hope we stop this trajectory
Yeah.
so that,
Before we sign off, can we make a wish for 2029? Because I
yes,
think that would be.
we're going to wrap this interview. We're going to wrap this interview with a wish for 20. Are there things you could do, Wendy, now about your concerns about the future
Mm.
related to the political state of this country, health for others, your health? Are there things that you can actively do?
The thing that's been grounding me is doing my own training, jujitsu and weightlifting, and feeling strong in my body. That's come out of having a chronic illness, an invisible disability. I identify as someone with a disability. And movement was always very healing for me. I've been really consistent lately with my strength training and my jujitsu training, and it just makes me feel strong. And it feels like something I can do that's so embodied. The first layer, at least, it
Yeah.
can help me protect other people. It can help me protect myself. can help me enjoy life. So that's something very, I can go to the gym right now. I can still go to the gym. During the pandemic times, I could work out at home. I could go for a walk. I could go to the mountains. They're right, literally like behind me. What do I need to do right now? What can wait? These little things. I'm, connecting to community. We're really going to need each other. We've needed each other.
Yeah.
And again, those little connections. What I've seen is in my community, I live in the mobile home park. I live in a low income neighborhood. I live in a community of immigrants. They understand interdependence. I am part of the disability community. We understand interdependence. There's pockets of it, but I think the American culture as a whole needs a little work. We need a little bit of work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, noted. After this interview, I'll start working. I'll start working hard. Wendy, I wanna honor the words you said about giving advice, and advice is almost so much based on who's able or willing to hear it at the time that you care to share it. If there were folks that you knew were willing to take some advice, would there be any advice that you might specifically choose for a certain 9, 19, 29, 39? And if so, what would that group be, and what would the advice be?
19. Well, my mom had me when she was 29.
Your mom was 29, you said, when she had you?
When I was born.
Okay.
Yeah. Just remind me of that. 39, 49. 39, maybe. Yeah, strength training. That's very or having some physical practice that you can go back to if you're able and that's accessible to you, of having something that helps you in your body, and that can look like a lot of different things. My screen. Because something like meditation, that might be good for some people, and for others it's not a great thing. So just something that helps you be in your body that might be in a lot of pain, or might be this or that. I know there's a lot of data too, how good that is for as we age. 39, really, starting thinking about it, or like thinking about it earlier, just having it be part of your life. But it's good to keep those joints strong.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm speaking as a personal trainer too. I'm thinking about 19 too. Gosh. So I do have to say also 19 to 29 was really challenged. 32 really.
Okay.
I feel like my 20s I was in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain from 12 to about 32. Wow. Until I had my first surgery. Wow. And that was life changing. I was doing things in spite of that, but I was in pain literally all the time. I have kind of a skewed vision of things, and in this country at 19, maybe if college isn't for you, that's okay. Do a trade, do something different. Like there's other ways we don't have to do the thing that society says that we have to do, or if you're able to travel, go travel. Yeah, I say that at any age. Yeah, it's a little easier or harder sometimes, but I just have this skewed thing that I kind of missed my 20s in a way. I was just dealing with all this other stuff that maybe not everybody was dealing with.
The more I do these interviews and learn from people, I wish we had a time machine that, like in Harry Potter, like the Harry Potter time turner, where you can go back and just observe. You can't do anything, because if you if you intervene, like it's going to F everything up.
Yeah.
Let's observe. And of course, Harry intervened. I mean, like any good book, the protagonist is going to intervene. But how fascinating to know, because I imagine folks probably didn't know how much pain you were in your 20s. I don't know if that, I'm assuming that. And how is that to know you were in that pain, but maybe not be seen that you were in pain?
Yeah, it's continued till now. I feel like I was talking about this last week. Because I'm a performer and because I can compartmentalize things, I can pretend I'm better than I am. And I've done less of that. Maybe that's a piece of advice. You don't have to pretend. And that's a thing that's been growing. Everybody that's asked me how I'm doing for a while now, I don't say, I'm great.
Okay.
Because I'm not great. I'm not great. And in the past, I'm good. I'm fine. It's fine. Now I'm okay today, or I feel this today. I don't want to lie to people.
Yeah. I had a teacher a long time ago she was teaching me mindfulness, and she said, y'all know what fine means, right? And we're like, yeah, fine. I'm fine. Maybe you've heard this before, Wendy. Fine, FINE stands for fucked up, insecure, neurotic, and exhausted.
Yeah. And I'm, trying to balance that out. I don't know. I'm just trying to be real. And I want to remember there's still things that are good to look forward to.
Speaking of good, I hear good and I think of the word mattering. Wendy, I'm curious for you, what matters most?
I felt tears come up in my eyes. What matters most, I may or may not have been rehearsing my black belt speech. I may or may not get 10 minutes to do, but it's this milestone that's coming up, and I'm going to get back to your question. It's coming, it's circling back around.
I got you.
Yeah. Even if I don't say all the things in public, I'm saying them to myself. What does this mean to me? And it's more than just the black belt in jiu-jitsu. And this shows up in all the other places in my life, but I wanted people to know that they're okay, they're worthy, they belong somewhere. I want to belong somewhere. I want community. I want my experience to be heard. I don't know if I need it to be fully validated. It feels nice to have my feelings validated, but heard and not pushed away. I think telling our stories is really important. That matters a lot.
Got it. Thanks, Wendy. Before we create a blessing and good wishes for 2029, is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners and or watchers to this podcast?
I want to hear your story.
Okay.
I want to hear your story, and like the people listening, I want to know, what's your story? That's why I like listening to podcasts. I want to be on it because I like listening to stories and how people, I'm not that interested in sports, but I love sports stories. Like, how did that athlete do this and get there, or whoever it is? I love documentaries. So tell your story in some way. Maybe not a podcast, but it's something else. Tell it to somebody. Tell it through art. Tell it through the way you interact in the world. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And as I find in a lot of ways, this podcast is helping me rethink my story tremendously. Wendy, this has been fantastic. And I want to honor your wish that we wrap this interview with, how should we even word this? Do we call this a blessing? Do we call this a wish? Let's get creative on supporting 2029.
How do we dream a new day into beginning? How do we imagine how 2029 could be? For our imaginings, what can we be serious? Yeah. And I like the blessing. I love a blessing.
Let's just do a list of things. What if we say 2029, may you be blessed with X, and then we just put it out there?
Yes.
Does that work?
With care for all, health care for all, care in general for all.
With borders that you can safely cross to seek safety, love, and justice.
Cool new music and art.
More healthcare clowns employed full-time in hospitals around the U.S.
Yes. More acknowledgement of our past, the negative and the positive. Yeah.
More acknowledgement of our past, negative and positive. Yes. More time to slow down, intentional time to slow down.
Yes. More stories being heard and told.
Less war than the world has ever seen in history.
More gelato. I had to get snacks in there. More.
Or ice cream.
More ice cream.
If that's your jam.
More snacks. More cool snacks.
Yeah.
I'm going off the
and
rails.
More cool days.
Yes. I feel like I need one more.
Yeah. It needs a closing. You get the closing too. We're gonna wrap it on you.
More rest. May you rest more in 2029.
Thank you so much, Wendy, and thank you everyone for joining the Niners podcast. I'm your host, Tim Cunningham, and if you like what you hear, now's the time I need you to follow, like, comment wherever you listen to podcasts and take this content in. Special thanks to Jen Cornell, who wrote our intro and outro music. You can learn more about Jen at jencello.com. And if you know someone who's 9 months pregnant, 9, 19, 29, 39, 49, all the way up to people in their 90s that might want to share their story, send them my way. My goal is to interview 99 people over the course of the life of this podcast, and I need your help in continuing to learn from others. Thanks again for joining, and tune in next time.